Hello everyone, and it's time to talk about the Destiny beta. This is my Destiny beta feedback video. Now I know it's a little late as the Destiny beta finished a few weeks ago, but I have had a hell of a lot of problems. This video has been ready to go for a few weeks now. The script is written and I have some footage. I only have 45 minutes of footage, unfortunately, because of internet problems. Yeah, I missed the last 2 days of beta, so I missed getting the bonus for what did you get? You got a little bonus thing if you logged in at a certain time. I missed getting that because I had no internet, and I missed the moon quest thing, the quest on the moon, because again, no internet. So this video has been ready to go. It was meant to be uploaded last week, but problems again means that we've had to postpone it and push it back to this week. So it is a few weeks after the beta had finished. It's given me a little bit of extra time to reflect on the Destiny beta. I'm not like some of those people who are gonna cancel their pre-orders because of it. I'm not cancelling mine. Overall, I'd say I enjoyed it. So we're gonna split this video into two parts. Part one, this part that you're listening to, is going to be what I liked about Destiny. We'll talk about what I didn't like and where I think it can improve in part two. That'll be part two, but this is part one, and we'll start positively because it's always good to start positively. You don't want to start on a negative note, surely. So the first thing I have to say about it is it looks good. It is a good looking game, Destiny. I quite like the world that it was in. I quite like the Russian space station, not space station, the kind of spaceport, we'll call it. At the beginning of the game, it was the sort of run-down, dilapidated kind of space center it was, with the big ship that you could see in the distance. I thought it looked amazing. I played it on PS4, and I also played a little bit of it on PS3. I thought it looked okay on PS3. You could tell it was running at a much lower frame rate though. It did feel a little bit kind of jerkier on the PS3. The movement and things like that, and the animations didn't feel as smooth. You could tell the PS4 one was running on a higher frame rate, and you also had a lot of really low-res textures on the PS3. But the PS4 one I thought looked excellent. I loved I quite liked the world. I really would like to explore it for a bit. I did run into one of the unkillable enemies in a cave, and I never explored the cave again. I ran in, there was like an enemy that just had, I think it just had a skull beside its health bar. I shot at it a few times, and it just one-shotted me. It just turned around and went, "Oh, you're annoying me." Bang! I found that pretty fun. I like that there was little hidden caves with sort of high level enemies. You know, it gives you that little risk to exploration. But I would like to explore the world of Destiny. I liked it. It was it was set in kind of Russia. You were set in on Earth. I never got a chance to do the moon quest, but there are going to be other planets apparently in the game, so I'm looking forward to exploring them. And I quite liked some of the lighting effects in particular were excellent. And the other big thing about it was the gunplay. Now this is no surprise, it's developed by Bungie, of course developed Halo, and it feels pretty much like Halo. It does have the aim down the sight of Call of Duty and other games like it, but it does very much feel like Halo, and that's a good thing because Halo is a pretty decent shooter mechanically. Mechanically it's very similar to Halo. Some would argue and say too similar to Halo, but again we'll save that for the second video. But I liked it overall. The gunplay is fairly solid. I was fairly happy with my gunplay in the game. Another thing I liked some of the abilities you got. I liked the Warlock's Nova Bomb. I played a Warlock until level 8. Which was the level cap, and I played a Titan until level 5. I never got a chance to try the Hunter because again, I was going to do Hunter gameplay in the sort of last 2 days, but no internet again, so I didn't get a chance to do a proper test of it, and I never really encountered too many bugs. There were a few things, the odd glitch here and there that I encountered with enemies getting stuck in the environment, although I never got stuck in the environment myself. I did jump off the big citadel thing that you go to. I did jump off that just to see what happens, you know, because you're gonna do that in a game I like to do that in a game. I like to test the boundaries. So I thought I'll jump off the edge, and I died. And it took me a while to respawn, and when I did respawn, I was in midair over the edge and just fell to my death again. But pretty minor bugs, really. There's were 2 minor bugs. The game ran pretty smoothly on PS4. PS3, again, I don't know if it was just going from PS4 to PS3 that made it feel choppy, or whether it was actually, but you could feel the difference between PS3 and PS4. I didn't get a chance to try out the Xbox 360 one. I was going to download that, but again, no internet. I was going to download that. I can't download the Xbox One version because, of course, I don't own an Xbox One. PS4 and PC I have this generation. Don't own an Xbox One. I'm sure it plays pretty well, to be honest with you, because, you know, they're fairly similar. Both consoles, both the PS4 and the Xbox One, are fairly similar anyway. You know, architecturally, they've got the same CPU. The PS4 is a slightly better GPU and it has slightly faster RAM. That's the only real difference, but there's not a massive difference from what I've heard anyway about the PS4 and Xbox One, so I wouldn't be too concerned if I was an Xbox One owner. From all accounts, it ran pretty well on Xbox One. There was no major issues that I read about anyway, you know, so I guess you could say that, you know, it should run about the same. You know, I hate this console debate, this fanboy console debate at the moment. I tend to own everything eventually. I will buy an Xbox One eventually, but I'll definitely be getting Destiny on PS4 because it's the only next gen console that I own at the moment. And PC, it's coming to PC. So I've heard, rumour, someone found some Steam files with reference to Destiny and it coming in 2015. I do hope it does come to PC because it looked good on PS4. Can you imagine how good it would look on PC? That's what I was thinking while I was playing this. It looks amazing, but I really want to see it on PS3. I did like the world, I like the gunplay, I liked some of the enemies. Some of the enemies were kind of cool. They were a bit too similar to Halo enemies though, that was the only real negative, but I did like some of the enemies. The wizard was kind of a cool kind of enemy to fight. He would always kind of teleport around the room and hit you with big attacks. You always had to hide. You always had to kind of run, hide, and then duck out at the right time, fire off your shots, fire off your heavy weapon. So I like the fact that the level cap was 8 in the game, and I did get to level 8 on one character. I did play one of the instances. I did play PvE, the PvE instance. I played some PvP as well. I took part in some public events, which I quite liked the public events. Although some of them did bug out like halfway through and just start from the beginning again. That was kind of annoying, but again, to be expected in beta. That's the whole point of beta, is to test and find these bugs. But again, there's a good aspect. I mean, it was cool to just see everybody riding around on their little mounts, we'll call them. They're kind of like ghosts, the little hover bike things. They handle a bit like a ghost in Halo. You just see everybody, you just see public event starting and you just see everybody run to it. It's a bit like Defiance with its Arcfall events. Again, it is, I mean, Defiance is the game that you're going to compare it to, I would say, because it is kind of the only other real MMO shooter, world MMO shooter out there that has PvE and PvP. I mean, you've got Firefall maybe, but I never really liked that game, to be honest with you. So I'll probably use Defiance as a comparison to it. Again, I love the little hub world as well, which was on the little base thing that was above the earth. I can't remember what it's called. It's been a while since I played it, but that was cool. You got to wander around in third person, and of course, the most important test that we can conduct in an MMO, we conducted, of course, does it have a slash dance emote? And the answer, I can tell you, is yes, it does. Of course, it has a slash dance emote. We can dance. Oh yeah, we can't chat. There's no chat. That's the only downside, is that there's no chat in the game. There's no text chat. There may be voice chat. I'm pretty sure there is voice chat in the game, but there's no text chat. Oh, we don't get to hear someone's right-wing political views, and I want to hear that in an MMO. And I also want to know what the first MMO was. You know, usually they say WoW. It's usually a trolling thing. They say WoW was the first MMO, and then you get a huge debate. People, I like that. I think that's quite funny. Actually, I miss the chat people. I guess you can't have gold spammers, or what is it? Glimmer, it's called, is the main currency in the game. You can't have glimmer spammers, I guess, if that's the case. I don't know if you can trade with other players either. I never really tried it. The only thing I ever did with other players is wave to them occasionally. You would see someone out in the world and they'd give you a little wave and you'd wave back to them, but there was no real way to communicate with them. I wonder if there's any way to join them in a group. I never really had the chance to explore that, to be honest with you, but I would like to see that in the game. I think that would be a nice addition. But again, you know, what would the debate be in Destiny, again, in a shooter console? Would it be COD is better than Battlefield? You know, in a chat situation, would it be, yeah, COD is awesome? Because everyone talks about WoW, and occasionally they mention other MMOs when you're doing these beta tests in MMO chat. They talk about World of Warcraft. Would they talk about Call of Duty and Battlefield with console players? I'm just interested to see that. I think it should be in the game. Bungie, please put it in the game. Please do so. Just to see the debate that people would have. You know, Halo is better than COD or whatever. You know, we need to see that. COD was the first shooter. That's gonna be that would be the trolling thing. You know, Call of Duty was the first shooter. Modern Warfare was the first shooter. Even though it was called Call of Duty 4, it's still the first FPS. We need to see that, Bungie. We need a chat in game. That's another bit of feedback I will give you. The other thing I really did enjoy, I never really experienced the story, to be honest with you. I kind of just skipped out on the story and never really bothered with it. Although Peter Dinklage was kind of funny as your little, I'm gonna call him 343 Guilty Spark, just because I don't remember what he's called. But that's what I called him through that. It's played, of course, by Tyrion Lannister himself, Peter Dinklage. That's pretty well in it. I did okay. It was fun to hear his voice. It took me a while to work out who that was, and then I read it somewhere. Now I get it. It's like, where have I heard his voice before? There's a few other voices and it's thinking, where have I heard them before? But I never really experienced the story. I think beta is not the place to do story, to be honest with you. I think beta is, you know, we want to test the game. We don't really care about the story in beta, so I tended to just ignore it. Really, that's why I don't know what things are called. Again, don't know what that little orb thing, that little citadel place that you go to above the city is called, because I never paid attention to any of the cutscenes, to be honest with you. I was there to test the game. When the game comes out, I'll sit and watch the cutscenes, I'll look at the story, and we'll evaluate it as a story, you know, evaluate the story as we get it in game. But beta testing, I don't really want to experience the story, to be honest with you. I want to test out the game, I want to find bugs, I want to break things. That's the whole point of beta, and I really didn't really find that many bugs, to be honest with you. I found it to be pretty good overall. Overall, I liked it. I didn't cancel my pre-order. I've seen a lot of hate on Twitter for Destiny. A lot of people kind of saying, oh, I'm cancelling my pre-order and stuff like that, and I'm not in that boat. I'm keeping my pre-order and I'm keeping an open mind to it. Bear in mind that you only had level 1 to 8 in the game, so you know, you had one instance. I think you had I think it was one PvP map. I didn't do that much PvP. I always got the same map anyway when I did PvP. The PvE was okay. There's a few things I want to say about that in the next video, maybe about some of the bosses and some of the boss mechanics. But I thought it was okay. It was pretty typical. 3-player. It is a 3-player co-op instance. It's fairly typical instance stuff. You have bosses. Sometimes you had a little bit of loot. There was a little bit of like loot caches that you could find in the game. The bosses didn't drop loot though, which I found quite annoying. The whole point of a boss, kill a boss, get a loot. It's an MMO. Come on. You appear to have your own loot table at least, which is good, so no one can ninja loot from you. So it's not going to be like Borderlands where you see all the loot on the ground and you have to share it between every player, or like an MMO like World of Warcraft where you have need, greed and pass system. It seems to be that you get your own loot table, which again, I like that. I like that in MMOs because it saves a lot of aggro, it saves a lot of hassle and a lot of infighting. It creates a lot of tension in groups when somebody ninjas something. But I think the loot caches, you don't share loot, so if you find the loot cache, you get the loot from it, and everyone else is like tough. I don't like that approach, to be honest with you. I think that everybody should get something, or you should at least roll on it, to be honest, from that point of view. If someone's picking it up, because then whoever finds the loot cache gets the item. So it comes down to whoever knows the instance best gets the item. But overall, the instances were kind of cool. The instance was alright. Well, the Devil's Lair is what it was called, your first instance. I did a Let's Pug video on it. I did a live stream as well, where I did it a few times. Had a few audio problems in that live stream, so I can't use it. Maybe I will try and use it from that live stream, depending on what we get, depending on how long the next video is. That's the thing. But again, overall, it was quite an enjoyable experience, quite an enjoyable game. So what did you think about Destiny? Are you going to cancel your pre-order, or are you going to... Maybe you tried it in open beta, because the last 3 days it went into complete open beta that was open to everyone, who even if they didn't pre-order it. So did it make you pre-order it? Because I think it's worth getting, to be honest with you. I like Bungie's games. I didn't like the later Halo games, I have to be honest with you. Halo 3 I didn't really like, and Halo Reach I wasn't a big fan of. I liked ODST, the ODST was good, but the first two Halos were awesome. I didn't like Halo 4, but we're not really going to compare it to Halo 4 because it wasn't Bungie who made that. But again, comparisons with Halo, the gameplay is fairly similar. The setup is mostly the same. You can carry 3 weapons. At least you get a primary weapon, a secondary weapon, and a heavy weapon. You get your choice of weapons, which again is very good. The other thing I liked was the engram things. When you picked up a weapon from an enemy, you didn't get the weapon. You would get the schematic for the weapon. It was called an engram, and you would go to the vendor on the Citadel. I forget what the vendor was called, and the vendor would decrypt it for you, and you would get the weapon. The only downside to this is the level cap was 8, and I had some really cool level 10 gear. Like I had a level 10 blue, of course, the item rarity. It uses a similar item rarity. You've got white, green, blue, purple I've seen. I don't know if you get anything beyond purple. It's usually orange is the legendary one that most games use, certainly like World of Warcraft, Borderlands, etc. They all use that color coding system for their loot. Destiny is the same, and again, it's easy to tell. You know, I got a blue fire shotgun that required level 10, and I was so annoyed when I hit level 8 and it said, "You've reached level cap, thank you for playing." I was like, damn it, why'd you give me a level 10 shotgun, Bungie? Thanks for trolling me with a cool fire shotgun, a rare fire shotgun, or an uncommon fire shotgun at level 10. I don't know what the level cap is, to be honest, in game. I've seen a few things at level 20. A lot of the purple PvP reward weapons were level 20. So is it level 20? I don't know, to be honest with you. I've kind of stayed away from the hype train for Destiny, to be honest with you, because I do that with a lot of games that I really want to play. Kind of stay away from the hype. I don't want to get overhyped, and you don't want to kind of buy into the hype. But after playing it, I really liked it. Again, I really thought it was worth buying. I think worth checking out, because I'm a big fan of Borderlands. I'm a big fan of Halo. I like MMOs. I do this MMO based channel. The channel primarily covers MMOs, and it is an MMO in that sense. It is a world MMO. You do meet other players running around. You meet other players on the I was going to call it the fleet, because the SWTOR reference there, the Citadel thing. It is a bit, you could argue it's a bit like Mass Effect as well. The Warlock is certainly like a biotic in Mass Effect. Very similar. Things like Nova Bomb, it's pretty similar to biotic abilities. Your grenades, again, I don't like the Warlock grenade, but we'll discuss that in the next video. So that is all for this video. So thank you for joining me, and next video we'll talk about what I don't like, and again some of the suggestions I'd like to make for some changes to Destiny. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you soon, and goodbye.